Okay, I want you to picture the calendar for a second. It's looming.
Oh, yeah.
We are staring down the barrel of February 14th. And for most people, that date triggers a very specific, almost Pavlovian sequence of events.
Right.
You've got the panic buying of red roses that, they look okay in the store but are guaranteed to wilt by Thursday.
And the heart-shaped box of chocolates that, let's be honest, nobody actually wants.
Nobody. Except maybe the caramel ones.
And don't forget the prefix dinner reservation.
Ugh, the dreaded prefix menu, where you're paying double for a steak, sitting like 6 inches from another couple having the exact same conversation.
Yeah.
All for romance.
It is the industrial complex of romance. We perform the rituals because the calendar tells us to.
Right.
But the source material we're looking at today argues that we're often performing these rituals on top of a crumbling foundation.
You're putting a fresh coat of paint on a house that has structural damage.
That's it exactly.
That is a perfect setup. Because today, we're pivoting hard. We're deep diving into research from the Mirelle Institute for Anti-Aging Medicine. Specifically, insights from Dr. Corina Ianculovici. And the pivot is fascinating because we are not asking how to plan a better date night.
No gift guides here.
None. We're asking a much deeper, more scientific question.
Yeah.
What happens biologically when the spark fades? Not the emotional one, the physiological one.
Exactly. The topic is regenerative sexual wellness. And the whole mission of this deep dive is to completely reframe how you think about intimacy.
Okay.
Dr. Ianculovici and the Institute, they argue that sexual health isn't a luxury. It's not some nice-to-have activity like playing tennis. It is a vital sign.
A vital sign, like a blood pressure reading or checking your pulse?
In many ways, it's more sensitive. The whole idea here is that reproduction and sexual function are, evolutionarily speaking, very expensive for the body.
Right. They take a lot of energy.
A ton of energy, blood flow, hormonal coordination, so the body's smart. When your systemic health is compromised, you're stressed, inflamed. Metabolically off intimacy is the first thing the body shuts down to save resources.
That makes so much sense. It's like the body saying, look, we can't worry about making babies or having fun right now.
We have to keep the heart pumping.
Exactly.
Precisely. So when things start drifting in the bedroom, low libido, dryness, erectile changes, Dr. Ianculovici says we shouldn't just see this as getting older.
We should see it as the check engine light for the whole body.
That's the one.
That's a huge shift in perspective. I think the standard story we tell ourselves is, oh, I'm 40 or 50. This is just what happens. The machinery winds down.
And that's common, sure, but it's not normal in a medical sense. There's a big difference between pathological decline and optimal aging.
So if you just accept it.
You're ignoring a signal that your vascular system or your nervous system or your metabolic health is malfunctioning. You're putting a piece of black tape over the check engine light and just keeping your foot on the gas.
I love that analogy. Okay, so let's get into the biology here, because the source material gives this physiological checklist, and it's extensive. It says sexual health starts way before the bedroom.
No, it starts at the cellular level. I mean, think about what you need for a sexual response. It's an incredibly complex physiological symphony.
Right.
You need hormones to signal interest. You need a nervous system that can switch out of fight or flight. You need a vascular system that can push blood flow to specific places on command.
And the energy to fuel the whole thing.
And if one of those violins is out of tune, the whole symphony just crashes.
Yeah.
The source highlights specific enemies of intimacy. Chronic inflammation is a big one.
How so?
If your body is inflamed, it releases things called cytokines. They're inflammatory markers that basically tell your brain, we are sick, shut down the reproductive drive.
It's survival mode. The body thinks it's fighting an infection, even if that infection is just chronic stress or a bad diet.
It doesn't know the difference between a tiger chasing you and a full email inbox. It just knows stress. Then there's insulin resistance.
We usually talk about that with diabetes or weight gain.
Right, but here it's all about blood vessels. High blood sugar literally damages the lining of your blood vessels. And if that lining is damaged, you can't produce nitric oxide.
Okay, let's put a pin in nitric oxide. That comes up a lot in this research. That's the big go signal, right?
It is the molecular key. Nitric oxide is a gas that tells blood vessels to relax and dilate. Without that, you physically cannot have an erection. For women, you can't have engorgement or lubrication.
It's just simple physics.
It is. So if your metabolism is off, your nitric oxide production drops and the physical mechanism fails. It doesn't matter how romantic the dinner was.
So you could have the desire in your head, the connection is there.
But the bridge to the body is broken, the line is cut.
Right.
That brings us to the nervous system. Most of us live in a state of chronic stress. High cortisol. Cortisol breaks things down. Testosterone and estrogen build things up.
They're opposites.
They are biologically antagonistic. You cannot be in a high cortisol state and a high libido state at the same time.
Which explains why that stress vacation actually works sometimes.
Yeah.
You finally lower the cortisol enough for the other systems to come back online.
Right, but you can't just rely on a vacation once a year. You need to repair the machinery so it works on a random Tuesday night.
And that brings us to the regenerative part of all this. We have to talk about the solutions because some of these technologies sound like sci-fi.
They do, but they're rooted in very hard science.
Okay, they really are. And for the women listening, let's start with the most famous one in this stack. The O-shot.
The O-shot, or the orgasm shot to be technical.
The marketing team certainly didn't bury the lead on that one. It's bold.
Direct, isn't it? But if you look past the name, the science is pure regenerative medicine. It uses PRP platelet-rich plasma.
This is the same stuff they use in sports medicine, right? For repairing knees. I think Tiger Woods used it.
Same exact principle. They draw your blood, spin it in a centrifuge to concentrate the platelets. Platelets are like little construction foremen for your body. They carry growth factors.
So when you inject them into a specific tissue,
In this case, the clitoral and vaginal tissue, they release these growth factors and signal the body to repair itself.
so it's like tricking the body into thinking there's an injury there that it needs to fix.
In a way, yes. It triggers a healing cascade. It stimulates the creation of new collagen and, crucially, new blood vessels.
Which goes back to the blood flow issue. More blood vessels, more capacity for sensation.
Better blood flow equals better sensitivity. But the source makes it clear this isn't just about better orgasms. It treats urinary incontinence, which is a huge, often unspoken issue. It increases natural lubrication.
So it's not just masking a symptom, it's restoring the tissue to a younger state, structurally.
Exactly. It's turning back the biological clock on that specific area.
Okay, now, moving on. I have to admit, I paused at this next one. Clitoxin.
Yeah.
My brain just immediately went to Botox, and then I thought, wait, Botox freezes things. Why would you want to freeze anything down there?
That sounds terrifying. That is the common reaction. It sounds totally counterintuitive. We associate Botox with, the frozen forehead. But this is a very sophisticated application of neuromodulation.
So break it down. What's the mechanism? Why would relaxing a muscle help?
It's about the anatomy. For many women, involuntary muscle tension in that area can actually retract the clitoris or just restrict blood flow. It's like clenching a fist.
Okay, if you clench your fist tight enough, you lose sensitivity in your fingers.
Exactly. The muscle is chronically tight. It's strangling the sensation. So by injecting a microdose of a neuromodulator, you relax that involuntary tension.
You're not numbing the nerve endings.
That's the crucial distinction. You are relaxing the muscle around them.
So it unlocks the sensation by removing the physical barrier.
The source phrases it as unlocking sensation, not suppressing it. It improves blood flow and exposure, heightens responsiveness.
And this really reinforces that idea of precision medicine.
It does.
And speaking of anatomy, there's the Exilis Ultra Femme 360.
It sounds like a spaceship, doesn't it?
It sounds like something Elon Musk is sending to Mars. Boarding the Ultra Femme 360.
It's actually radio frequency therapy. And this deals with structural integrity. As estrogen drops, collagen production plummets. Tissue gets thinner, less elastic.
So what does this do?
The Exilis uses thermal energy heat to penetrate deep into the tissue.
Is it painful? Thermal energy sounds intense.
The source describes it as a warm sensation, kind of like a hot stone massage. That heat makes the existing collagen fibers tighten up immediately, but more importantly, it stimulates the body to produce new collagen.
So you get tightening and better circulation.
And it's non-invasive. No needles, no surgery, just energy-based remodeling.
But, and here's the big caveat, you can fix the hardware, the tissue, the nerves, but if the software is buggy, nothing happens. We have to talk about BHRT, bioidentical hormone replacement therapy.
This is the foundation. You can have perfect vascular health, but if your estrogen has flatlined, the brain never even sends the signal. And the key word here is bioidentical.
How is that different from what, our moms are on in the 90s?
Massive difference. Traditional synthetic hormones were molecularly distinct from what your body makes, like a key that jams in the lock. Bioidentical hormones are molecular clones of your own. The body recognizes them as self.
And the goal isn't just high levels, is it?
No, it's optimization. It's not cookie-cutter dosing. It's precision testing to get your levels back to where they were when you felt your best. And when you do that, you don't just get your libido back.
You get your sleep back.
Your mood stability, the brain fog lifts, it turns the lights back on in the whole house, not just the bedroom.
Okay, we've covered the women extensively, but the Mirelle Institute makes a really pointed observation about men. It says they're suffering in silence.
They are. There is a massive stigma. For a man, erectile changes are often internalized as a failure of masculinity. It attacks self-worth faster than almost anything.
And usually the solution is just take the blue pill.
Yep. Keep it secret. Pop a pill.
Yeah.
But this is offering a regenerative alternative, the pea shot,
The Priapus shot.
named after the Greek god of virility, if you want to get mythological.
I appreciate the history lesson.
Fair enough. The science is just like the O shot. It's PRP for the penis. But here, the focus is very specifically on vascularity and the health of the sponge-like tissue that fills with blood.
And that tissue can get damaged over time, right? Scarred or calcified.
Exactly. Micro-injuries, plaque buildup. The pea shot uses those growth factors to repair the blood vessels and the tissue matrix. So instead of just forcing blood in for an hour, you're rehabilitating the organ.
So it's maintenance versus a jump start.
Perfect analogy. The pill is jumper cables. The pea shot is replacing the battery. You want the car to start on its own.
And of course, the men also get their version of the neuromodulator, Bocox or Scrotox.
The names are memorable, but the utility is real. The scrotum has muscles that regulate temperature.
I didn't realize those could be overactive.
Oh, yeah. High tension restricts blood flow, can be uncomfortable. So by relaxing those muscles, you improve hang, blood flow, and frankly, the aesthetic confidence.
And confidence seems to be the bridge to this next major topic. We've talked genitals, we've talked hormones, but the Mirelle Institute throws a curveball. They put a massive emphasis on metabolic health.
This is the aha moment for most patients.
I have to be honest, when I got to this section, I thought, okay, are we just pivoting to weight loss now? But the connection to performance is surprisingly direct.
It's undeniable. The source calls it the overlooked factor. You cannot compartmentalize your waistline from your sex life. They are the same system.
Walk us through that. How does insulin resistance specifically sabotage intimacy?
Well, we touched on the blood vessels, sugar acting like glass shards, but let's go deeper. Your fat tissue isn't just inert storage.
It's not just a backpack of energy.
No, it's a biologically active organ, and it pumps out inflammatory chemicals. But here's the kicker for men. Fat cells contain an enzyme called aromatase.
Aromatase, what does that do?
It steals your testosterone and converts it into estrogen.
Wait, what? So the fat tissue is actually actively depleting your testosterone?
Actively.
Yeah.
It's a vampire. So if you're carrying excess visceral fat, you are fighting a losing battle with your hormones. You can take all the testosterone shots you want.
But the fat is just converting it to estrogen.
Exactly. You'll just feel bloated and emotional.
That is a terrifying feedback loop. And for women?
Metabolic dysfunction often shows up as PCOS or just general hormonal chaos. But for both sexes, it comes back to that nitric oxide. If you're insulin resistant, your cells are inflamed. They cannot release the gas, no blood flow.
No blood flow, no performance.
It's that simple.
This really contextualizes their Lux metabolic reset.
Yeah.
It's not about fitting into a suit for Valentine's Day.
No, and notice the language, a reset, not a diet. Traditional dieting, starving yourself, is actually terrible for libido. The body thinks there's a famine.
And shuts down reproduction to save energy.
Right. This reset focuses on insulin sensitivity and reducing inflammation. It's about fueling the body so it feels safe enough to turn those systems back on. The goal is to feel strong and lean.
And there's that psychological piece too, the confidence factor.
It's huge, the source says bluntly. When you don't feel confident in your body, intimacy suffers, period. If you feel sluggish or bloated or you just don't like what you see in the mirror,
You pull away, you turn the lights off.
yeah, you create an inhibition loop. So by fixing the metabolism, you are fixing the chemistry and the psychology at the same time.
It's a virtuous cycle.
You feel stronger, your blood flow improves, your hormones stabilize, your confidence goes up, and suddenly intimacy isn't a chore, it's an expression of vitality.
I love that phrasing, expression of vitality. It brings us all the way back to that initial idea that this is a vital sign.
They are inextricably linked. You cannot biohack your way to great sex if the underlying system is rotting. You have to treat the whole person.
So as we zoom out and look at this whole philosophy, the shots, the hormones, the metabolic reset, it feels like we're defining a new way to think about longevity.
We are. The Mirelle Institute is reframing the conversation. Traditionally, longevity just meant not dying.
Right. staying alive as long as possible.
But what is the quality of those years? Are you 85 and hiking? Are you 85 and bedridden? Are you 85 and still connecting with your partner?
Feeling desired.
Exactly. Those are the things that make life rich.
Right.
The source makes this beautiful comparison. It says flowers fade, chocolate gets eaten. Those are depreciating assets.
But confidence compounds.
Confidence, connection, biological health.
Yeah.
They all compound. If you invest in the machinery of intimacy, you get a return on that investment every single day. You sleep better. You have less anxiety, better heart health. It ripples out.
It's a compelling argument for skipping the giant teddy bear and maybe booking a consultation.
It's certainly a gift that lasts longer than a box of truffles. It's about taking agency over your own biology.
Taking agency, that's the key. We have covered a lot of ground today. From the panic of the holiday to the check engine light of low libido, all the way to the metabolic engine room.
It's a comprehensive picture. And if there is one thing I really want you to take away, it's that these issues, low drive, performance anxiety, are often signals, not sentences.
You don't have to just live with them.
You don't. It's not vanity. It's vitality.
That is.
And, we take our cars in for maintenance. We upgrade our phones. We track our sleep. Why do we leave our intimacy to chance?
That's the question of the day. And here's a thought I want to leave you with, something to mull over. We've talked about intimacy as a vital sign, like blood pressure.
Right.
So imagine if we treated it with that same level of clinical respect. If you went to your doctor and said, my blood pressure is shooting up, they wouldn't say,
we'll buy some flowers and hope for the best.
Exactly. They'd look at the system. They'd look for the cause. So if we view intimacy as a vital sign of health, how does that change the way we prioritize it in our daily lives?
Not just on February 14,
but on the other 364 days of the year.
It moves it from the recreation column to the health column, and that changes everything.
It certainly does. Thank you all for diving deep with us today into the science of connection.
Always a pleasure.
We'll see you next time. Stay curious and stay healthy.